His first thought is, what can I buy? I buy a bigger house. And I actually said to him, let's imagine you're going to buy this extra house. This is what the mortgage is going to look like. This is what the extra bills, because it costs more money to own a bigger house. Take that bit of money now and just start paying it off your mortgage every month. And he came back and he said, you're so right. We've got less money than we had before. I said, yeah, because you went and spent it, but also now you've just paid 6 months more of your mortgage off.
Fortunately, it ain't gone down the drain, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Before we kick off today's episode, I've got a few recommendations for you. First recommendation I've got for you is to take your commission more seriously, and the only way to really do that effectively is to deal with Carl at Conquest. Carl and the team really have their finger on the pulse with everything to do with commissions for your business, how much your guys are going to earn, how much they're currently tracking to earn, what your competitors are paying, what competitive landscape is out there, what your commission structure should look like. If you want to take commission seriously, and doing so will attract the right talent to your business and increase performance, get in touch with Carl at Conquest. Another recommendation I've got for you is Ben Fielding at Quinset. Now, we know in 2025 and onwards, email deliverability is more important than it's ever been before. With so much spam and junk mail and the amount of outreach messages that just don't land where they're meant to, sometimes your agency messages can get lost in the shuffle. You don't want to be in the junk mail. You don't want to be outside of the focused inbox. You don't want to be sending interview invites and having to ask your prospects and your candidates to check their junk. So if you want to sort that problem out and you want to continue to grow and scale your recruitment business, get in touch with Ben Fielding at Quinset. My next recommendation to you is Ross Thompson and the team at Infinity Staff Global. Infinity Staff Global are an employer of record who specialise in finding you staff based out in South Africa, but that work for you. Outsourcing and offshoring is the secret to growing and scaling a recruitment business in 2025 and onwards. And I highly recommend that you consider South African staff for your recruitment business, be it in a sales capacity, i.e. 180 or 360 degree recruiters, be it marketing, be it administrative functions, back office support, anything that you might need for your recruitment agency. Get in touch with Ross and the team on the details in the description. The final recommendation I've got for you is Matt Fox at Exodus Advisory. Exodus Advisory was born out of Matt's journey selling his recruitment business. Along the way, the journey was incredibly difficult. There was a lot of forwards and backwards. There was things that he wished he knew back then that would have changed some of the things that he did with his business. So Matt set up Exodus to help recruitment businesses be exit ready. This is not an overnight thing, and the last thing you want to be doing is having to exit your business, not because you want to, but because you have to. So if you're looking to plan an exit in 3 to 5 years' time, Matt Fox is the guy you need to be speaking to. Welcome back to another episode of RecTalk. I'm your host, Nitin Sharma, founder CEO of RecTools.io, one of the Curry Cartel for the Recruitment Curry Club, and a whole range of other stuff, and including the proprietor of this wonderful podcast, which is an award-winning podcast with YouTube and Spotify, actually. If you're looking for a new supplier into your recruitment business or your talent acquisition team, if you're looking for maybe a new applicant tracking system, maybe you're looking for a new CRM or somebody to do your marketing, maybe you're looking for, I don't know, somewhere to outsource your payroll, or even maybe you're looking for some automation and tech tools. Whatever you might be looking for, get over to RecTools.io. It's free to use today, tomorrow, forever. We've got a whole of market for you to go through and do your research, compare products and services, and then go off and have a look. On the homepage, you'll find RecTools recommended suppliers. These are people that I work incredibly close with, I get to know very well. You see them often on the RecTalk podcast, and the reason for that is because they are worth spending time with. One of those people is a person I had the pleasure of meeting for the first time this year, and every single interaction I've had with this gentleman has been useful, fruitful, and more importantly, entertaining and enjoyable for somebody like myself. It's Christian from One Day Wealth.
Thank you, sir.
And I get it now. Yeah. It's One Day Wealth. I kept saying Day One Wealth. It didn't work. But so this is your debut episode on RecTalk, face to face in the studio. Because I'll be completely honest, I have no idea what Tristan's producer schedule is. So the one that we recorded earlier this week
could come out
virtual
afterwards.
Could come out before. Could be. So let's just assume debut episode. Well, it's certainly first time in the shoebox.
Definitely.
Welcome.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And it's been a pleasure to get to know you as well.
It's been my pleasure.
You are a good soul and a good person, and I'm looking forward to this.
Mate, I appreciate you. I'll pay you later. Look, so what I find incredibly interesting is the fact that there is really nobody in the recruitment industry in this lane, in your lane, right, which is around financial planning, because most of us are recruitment business owners who work their asses off and have highs and lows, champagne and razor blades and all the rest of it, but don't necessarily build up things like financial resilience, is what you call it.
Yeah.
And then end up putting themselves in a situation where, they make real mistakes, right? So I guess first things first, why recruitment? How have you ended up in this industry? Because you were one of those London finance wankers, right?
Yeah. I suppose just to give you a little bit of backstory, should we start there? And yes, I was a London finance wanker. But I didn't go into it in most normal people do. 18, 19, sort of leaving home, from Chester originally, didn't like it too much for one reason or another. But I went to university. Just before I went to university, had a mate said to me, "Hey, why don't you come to Ibiza with us for a season?" I was like, "Fantastic, I will do." So I went out there, did a little bit, went to university, did a few seasons out there. My first job was selling scuba diving trips on San Antonio Harbour, but story for another day. And actually, at the end of university, I went Nottingham Trent, and at the end of university, I spent another 4 years in Ibiza, in Australia, all over the world. I was managing promotions for festivals, nightclubs, all that. Had an
you're an events boy.
I had an absolute whale of a time. But I was about 27, and I was just thinking, can't keep doing this forever. I need to go and get a real job,
proper job.
And I moved to London. 2010 this was, and I was like, I need to get a job. And it was actually my first interaction with a recruiter, a guy called Neil Farrell. Really, really nice guy. He gave me sort of 10 minutes of his time. He was a headhunter, certainly not some junior. He said, if I was you, get on the phone. I'd get 50 numbers and just ring every dealing floor manager you can, ask for a job as a stockbroker. That's what I did. And I ended up working as a stockbroker and went for a few jobs like we all do probably at the beginning, find your place. Ended up doing quite well at it, managing my own team, had 16 guys, and actually hated it. I really didn't. I'd come from this sort of free party atmosphere into this sort of
the most corporate
money
environment you could think
money.
Of.
And actually, there's a lot of similarities in stockbroking. It's a meritocracy. It's how hard you work. It's building it up. There's a lot of similarities about the journey you have to go through and managing the teams. And you work for someone, you think we can do this a little bit better. Went into money management, but 2019, I'd met my partner. She had 2 children from a previous marriage, and we had a kid. And I was like, I do not want to do this anymore.
Done.
I literally do not. So I handed my notice in, and I'm going to start on my own. Really shitty time, by the way, to quit a job. December 2019, a highly paid 6-figure salary job. Actually, I ended up babysitting. I'm not babysitting. You're not allowed to quit babysitting if it's your own children. That's what I'm told.
Yeah, because you can give your babysitter, you can give them back. Right?
But yeah, so I ended up actually spending the first bit of COVID where my partner went back to work with three kids, but then I sort of started in this. Fast forward to why recruitment, because I've been in the business for 4 years, but just like in recruitment, you need to own your vertical, don't you? You need to own what it is. And it was pretty clear to me, working with business owners, my message wasn't getting out because I was just shouting in the streets.
You're doing it for everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah.
And it came about over beer.
Mm-hmm.
So
as all good things do.
as all good things do. So one of the dads, his son played cricket, my son played cricket. We're sitting there having a few beers in the summer. He was a recruiter, and basically, unbeknownst to him at the time, I was just sitting there asking him questions about recruitment and thinking, hang on, there's a real opportunity here to get into this market and really help people, because there's no one else talking about it. When I looked at it, there's loads of financial advisors in doctors, dentists, all of those sort of...
They go where the money is, right? Where the obvious money is.
Yeah, but actually there's no one speaking about this in recruitment, and I just seen it as my opportunity to, without sounding corny, change some lives, make some difference, because actually that's what I want to get up to and do every day.
I hear it. Yeah. It's interesting, but you're absolutely right. Recruitment's one of those where meritocracy and all that, but people just want to make money, and they do make a lot of money, but they also waste a lot of money and spend it on stupid shit, right? And end up living out of their means at times, because we have this constant sort of mindset that if things are good today, they will be tomorrow, because actually if I put in 100% of my efforts, then this is the outcome that comes off the back of that. But, actually political, economical, social environments dictate how the market moves and so on and so forth. So, and I think certainly the last 3 years have been eye-opening for a lot of recruiters, where they realise that, okay, no, things aren't always just going to be year on year growth, and we've got to maybe think a bit more commercially and whatever. And it is. You have a lot of naive... I was one of them. But you have a lot of naive people running businesses, handling millions of pounds of turnover, hundreds of thousands of pounds of profit, and when shit hits the fan, because sometimes, most often it does, having nothing to show for it at the end of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And look, we all make mistakes, don't we?
Yeah.
But, it's not learning off those mistakes that's the real error. And, we're all going to be young, and if we earn a bit of money, a lot of people, there'll be some people out there that'll do the right thing, but a lot of people are going to go after shiny shit, aren't they, basically?
Of course.
I did it. I learned from my own mistakes. I was that guy in 2016-17, earning a lot more money than I'd ever thought of earning before, buying this amazing flat and having this lifestyle and having all this shiny shit, but I was unhappy as anything. Luckily, my missus came along, to be honest with you, at the time. She did, because I was living with my mates. I bought this flat, and I used to go home at night on my own and just sit there and think, is this it? Is this like we've earned the money? Is this actually it?
Yeah.
And it got us onto an interesting conversation as well, Nitin. When we first met, we were talking about your own experience with money, because this is what it is, isn't it? It's putting some plans in place and having some backstops so that you're resilient, and longer term building towards a financial freedom. A day when you don't have to rely on your income anymore. And you talked about your own experience of and why we're probably sitting here today. So are you happy to share that experience?
Yeah. Look, I openly talk about it because I know it will help people, right? I grew up poor. We as a family grew up poor. I'm the product of two immigrant parents who worked incredibly hard to build a platform that we now stand on and call home, right? But certain things get sort of drilled into you as a child, and I spent a lot of my time before I started in recruitment. I remember very, very specifically. It was 6 weeks before my wedding, and I got the job at Michael Page, and they were like, "Well, if you're getting married and you're going on honeymoon, you might as well start with us in September." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I hear you. Cool, okay, let's do that." And then I got sacked from the job that I was in at the time, 6 weeks before my wedding. And I was like, oh my God, I'm screwed. And at this time, I was that guy who 2 days after payday, I would be £900 overdrawn, right? Because, that's just the way it was. And this is bills, right? Yeah. Credit card minimum payments. I had 25 grand's worth of credit card debt, and I had a further 15 or 16 grand worth of loans outstanding. Nothing saved. And I remember being like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I had a couple £100 cash in my pocket. And I remember, I didn't tell my wife I got sacked that day. And she went to bed and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to watch telly. I snuck out the house and went to the casino. Yeah. And I was like, I've got to try and make this money go further. And I got it up to like £600. And it was like, immediately, it was like, right, I'm out cash now, got out. For those 6 weeks, I then went up and down the road and my neighbour, and the next road and the next road, knocking doors and asking, does anyone want any odd jobs doing? I can paint your fences, I can mow your lawns. And that's what I did for 6 weeks, was mow fences. Yeah, I was dreadful at it. And paint the lawns. You know what I mean? And they come out, well, what are you doing? Well, you're an idiot. What have you done to my fence?
I asked you to mow the lawn.
Why is my grass brown? But that's what I did. I mowed lawns and I painted fences and like did garden clearances and shit like that, just to keep some money in, like, coming. And that £600 lasted me for all the way through to the wedding. And we got married up in the Lake District. We had a really nice wedding. And then went to Bali on honeymoon. My wife didn't know any of this at the time. I just kept it all to myself. She thought we're all right financially, we're okay. And that 600 quid was getting topped up by, £10 job here, £15 job there, £30 job there. Oh, should we go out for dinner? Yeah. Let's go out for dinner. I've got this, that kind of thing. And I remember starting at Page and it was like, I don't want to be poor anymore. I don't want to be poor anymore. I'm looking around at people, they're flashy watches and nice shoes, and here's me in my Primark suit, and I'm like, I hope no one fucking cottons that this is a Primark suit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just don't want to be poor. I don't want to be poor anymore. So that was like, right, grind mode, right? So fortunately, paid off my credit cards, paid off the loans, like got out of the overdraft to like circle and cycle that I was in. I remember I saved my first £1,000. I was over the fucking moon with it. Oh, £1,000 saved up. I've never had £1,000 spare. You know what I mean? I'm actually using my ISA.
Yeah.
I'm nearly up to my ISA allowance.
Wow.
Like, wow, this is like shit's moving for me. I worked in banking before that, and I used to see people who were in their late 30s, early 40s with like 50, 60, 80 grand in their bank, in their building society accounts, surplus cash, coming in to renew bonds and stuff. And I'm like, how? How do you have this money? Like, where does this fucking go? How do you accumulate money like this, you know? And the trick for me was always the same. The day you get paid is the day you pay your mortgage. And the day you pay your mortgage, you pay as much as you can, a similar amount if possible, into savings.
Yeah.
Your savings is a bill. Don't lie to yourself. Don't bullshit yourself. I'll save what's left at the end of the month. Because guess what? Bro, there ain't going to be nothing left at the end of the month. There's nothing left at the end of the month.
That's when you start spending the credit cards, isn't
it?
That's
right?
Like...
And I just stuck to that methodology of, no. The day I get paid is the day I pay my mortgage, and the day I pay my mortgage is the day I'll put money in savings. Yeah. And I match that amount. And then over time, I'm like, oh, okay, this is, and then we've set up the business, started like, a bit tough for a little while, then started earning. And then for me, it was sort of like, as we kept paying ourselves that little bit more and that little bit more, I'm living on this money. And I'm living, right? I'm not flush with cash, but I'm enjoying myself. We go out for dinner. The kids are picking things up. I'm not looking at the price anymore, I'm not going online shopping and going like order by lowest first.
Yeah.
I'm not going straight to like ASOS's sales section and looking at what I can get for cheap anymore. You know what I mean? These little wins for me were like, when you grow up poor, you smell the milk. Should I?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I'm not doing this anymore. So I'm like, I'm living well. I don't need this extra money. And then so I was like, let me just bank that. I would pay ourselves like £2,000 divvies. All right, cool. Pay myself £1,000 divvies. £1,000 goes to the pot. I'm overpaying my mortgage a little bit at a time, And so I built up this situation for myself where actually, when the business did fail, I was able to pay the guy's last paycheck from my savings because I did not want to owe anyone any money in that sense.
Fantastic.
And I was able to then regroup and go, okay, you got a year. You got a year in the bank. To be able to live as we've lived, you've got a year in the bank. Can you turn whatever this is, whatever it is, because I don't know what this is right now. Bear in mind, we don't have a paying customer at that point. And I had to buy our business partner's shares off him because he wouldn't let it go. So I had to chuck a bit of cash at him to get that out. Okay, can you turn this into something in a year's time? And I'm proud to say that even now, as filming as of now, 17th of October, right? Actually, we used to pay ourselves on the 21st of every month. October 2023 was the last time I had a paycheck out of the business. I still don't pay myself out of the business. Yeah. Because I was like, okay, I want to get rid of the nice car. Chloe, we can't move. Yeah. We're not going to move yet. Let me see where this goes. Yeah, I've got a year's worth of money in the bank, but that could be 2 years worth of money if we just, don't spend so much. Yeah. I don't like, my problem's not that I'm poor. My problem is that I like nice things. if I stop liking nice things, my year's salary might go to 2 years or 3 years. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that was the mentality. But those decisions and that mindset is what afforded me the ability to be able to take a step back, go, right, what am I doing? Rather than rush, panic, and be like, I need to go and get a job. Or I need to just carry on in recruitment. I need to Phoenix. I need to do something dodgy. You know, it's the equivalent of taking that 200 quid and running down the casino that night.
Yeah.
I'm in the shit and I ain't got a paddle. I need to go and figure it out.
And you learned the lesson early, and that comes to my point. We talk about financial resilience. Without that resilience, we aren't sitting here today, are we?
No, that's true.
And look, I tell you a story. A good mate of mine, who's also a client. I went to uni with him. I live with him. He's a good friend of mine. He doesn't work in recruitment. But he got kicked up like a whole level at work, and like he went from about 80 grand to like 140 grand overnight. Yeah, and he rang me up, and he said, I've already rang the mortgage broker to see how much we can borrow to get a new house. The first thought, but the thing is, his first thought is, what can I buy? Yeah, and because it's such a big bump, it's like, I buy a bigger house. And I actually said to him, it's all good, mate. Just do me a favour. Let it sit for the next 3 months, right? So let's imagine you're going to buy this extra house. Yours is, I'm just throwing some numbers. Yours is 500 grand. You want to buy one for 800. Right, this is what the mortgage is going to look like. This is what the extra bills, because it costs more money to own a bigger house. This is what the extra bills. You're going to work in a bit better area. You're going to want to upgrade your life. You're going to want a better car because everyone else has got a better car. So he said, take that bit of money now and just start paying it off your mortgage every month. You come back to me in 6 months and tell me if you feel richer. And he did, and he came back and he said, you're so right. He said, like, we've got less money than we had before. Yeah. I said, yeah, because you went and spent it, but also now you've just paid 6 months more of your mortgage off.
Fortunately, it ain't gone down the drain, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, most people, when they, and again, in recruitment, great, we're now in this situation where markets are probably normalised after this big hiccup of COVID. Everyone's like out there and like, what can I buy? And they can buy all the things. And now like they come down because they're having to reassess their lifestyle, or they've bought the bigger house, or they've done that because they didn't have anyone there that was saying, hang on a minute, just breathe, just chill. And it's something I see all the time. It's not just people in recruitment, but it's the human psychology. We live in a consumer society.
We live in a consumer society, don't we? You're absolutely right. We are certainly in recruitment. We are very consumeristic, right?
Let's take a short break for a moment from this incredibly interesting podcast to hear about the 4 recommendations I've got for you again for your growing, scaling, and ambitious recruitment business. First recommendation I've got for you is to take your commission more seriously, and the only way to really do that effectively is to deal with Carl at Conquest. Carl and the team really have their finger on the pulse with everything to do with commissions for your business. How much your guys are going to earn, how much they're currently tracking to earn, what your competitors are paying, what competitive landscape is out there, what your commission structure should look like. If you want to take commission seriously, and doing so will attract the right talent to your business and increase performance, get in touch with Carl at Conquest. Another recommendation I've got for you is Ben Fielding at Quinset. Now, we know in 2025 and onwards, email deliverability is more important than it's ever been before. With so much spam and junk mail and the amount of outreach messages that just don't land where they're meant to, sometimes your agency messages can get lost in the shuffle. You don't want to be in the junk mail. You don't want to be outside of the focused inbox. You don't want to be sending interview invites and having to ask your prospects and your candidates to check their junk. So if you want to sort that problem out and you want to continue to grow and scale your recruitment business, get in touch with Ben Fielding at Quinset. My next recommendation to you is Ross Thompson and the team at Infinity Staff Global. Infinity Staff Global are an employer of record who specialise in finding you staff based out in South Africa, but that work for you. Outsourcing and offshoring is the secret to growing and scaling a recruitment business in 2025 and onwards. And I highly recommend that you consider South African staff for your recruitment business, be it in a sales capacity, i.e. 180 or 360 degree recruiters, be it marketing, be it administrative functions, back office support, anything that you might need for your recruitment agency. Get in touch with Ross and the team on the details in the description. The Final recommendation I've got for you is Matt Fox at Exodus Advisory. Exodus Advisory was born out of Matt's journey selling his recruitment business. Along the way, the journey was incredibly difficult. There was a lot of forwards and backwards. There was things that he wished he knew back then that would have changed some of the things that he did with his business. So Matt set up Exodus to help recruitment businesses be exit ready. This is not an overnight thing, and the last thing you want to be doing is having to exit your business, not because you want to, but because you have to. So if you're looking to plan an exit in 3 to 5 years' time, Matt Fox is the guy you need to be speaking to.
The number of it's really funny. I remember so I got rid of my, and it was only a 2010 Range Rover. It wasn't a fancy pants one. It was one of the ones that you can still turn the spanner to.
Yeah.
And I used to, poor thing, used to spend more time off the road. But I remember I got rid of that, and I bought this 20-year-old. Not beat up. It's a good Mercedes. Do you know what? I bought it in April 24. It's got right now. It's got 187,000 miles on it, and it gets me around the country. Right, it's took me to Glasgow a number of times. It's took me as far as Leeds. It's took me down to Wreckfest and everything else in between. Right, but I remember the first time I drove it to a client meeting up in Leeds, and we were recording a podcast and stuff. And I was like, let me just get the equipment out of the car. He's like, I'll get your hand. Yeah, cool. Go out there. He was like, which one's your car then? I was like, that one. Pop the boot. And he was like, don't take this the wrong way, but I didn't think you'd have a car like this. And he didn't mean it in like a cunty way. He meant it in the way of like, you're in recruitment. Most recruiters have got brand new
Flashy
financed
cars,
yeah. Right? And especially ones that own a business. Like, where's your financed flashy car? And I was just like, I paid 1,600 quid for this. And it's mine. And it gets me everywhere I needed to go. And it does up to 50 miles to the gallon on a motorway run. Like,
happy days.
Explain to me again, why I need it. Because no, I just didn't expect it. Because most people, certainly with what I'm doing, it's all about facade, right? It's all about showing the niceties. Oh, hey, look how great and successful I am. And it really did. It resonated with me because I was just like, that's what people think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's that idea, isn't it, that I've heard it said before. It's the idea that we borrow money to buy things to impress people that don't give a fuck about us, and it's mental. Yeah. And it's like
we don't
it's meant. But the other thing, I there was one day, and I used to have a boss I worked when in the stockbroker, and he used to say to me, he said one thing. He said the guy who driving down in his Ferrari in his street everywhere in London, said he thinks that everyone's looking at him, but they're not. They're looking at him thinking, I wish that was me driving the Ferrari.
Yeah.
And he used to say, there's always someone richer, there's always someone that's got a bigger dick than you, there's always someone better looking than you. Yeah. Stop comparing yourself to other people and start working on yourself.
That's it. It's the thief of all joy and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And look, if you want to treat yourself to, take cars as an example, you want to treat yourself to a nice car. Treat yourself to a nice car because you want that nice car.
Yeah.
Right? When my old man passed away, I was like, do you know what? He always told me, get yourself get a nice car, get a nice sports car. I want to see you in a Porsche or something like that. He used to say it all the time. He was like, Dad, I don't want that shit. And then I was like, actually, do you know what? No, I'm going to treat myself, right? And I did. I went and bought a 2003 986. It cost me $8,000, but it was mine because I paid it outright and it was mine. Do you know what I mean? And now I still own that car. It's still worth about $6,500, probably $7,000.
Yeah.
So that to me is like that's not a depreciating asset, because again, the poor me is sitting there going, don't go and get it on finance. Don't be that guy, because that's money you can spend on the kids. That's money you can spend on the wife. That's money that you can pay down on the mortgage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it is a case of training yourself to question everybody wants the nice thing when they first see it. Of course they do.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're right in that. Let me just take that money and just put it away for a minute and be without it, because that's what it's going to be when I have got it, right? And see if I'm miserable or not, or if I'm happy or not, right? Yeah. And then let that be the decision-making factor to go, actually, you can do this.
And I'd say to people, people say to me, I'm going to start saving when I earn the money.
You're never going to earn money.
Well, yeah, but it's like saying I'm going to start saving when I'm rich. It's like you're never going to do it unless you get some. And actually, when we talk about one of the biggest thing people say to me is, I don't know where to start. So they don't. What do people do when they don't know where to start, or they don't think they can do it? They just don't start. And everyone thinks that to take financial advice, you need loads of money, and you don't at all. You need somewhere to start, and you need a place to start. And the sooner you do it, the better. There's an old Chinese proverb: the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time's today, and it's exactly the same. And if I look at your situation, what you learned was just some disciplines. Spend less than you earn. Pay yourself first. So that's what I call it. Is and we're trained in this consumer society that we get our money in. Obviously, the tax gets taken away from most people. Maybe a bit different if you're a business owner, but your tax gets taken away, and yours is what's left over. You pay your mortgage, you pay your bills, and you spend what's left over. And if there's anything left after that, you do the saving. Pay yourself first is you get your money. Let's say you get £1,000 a month. If it's 5%, 10%, 15%, whatever it is. If it's 10%, you put your £100 away, you automate it into an ISA, a savings, a pension, whatever it might be. Then you pay your bills, and then you spend whatever's left. And if you spend everything, it doesn't matter because you've paid yourself already.
After,
and it's just simple things. It's making sure that your family, you've got that resilience, making sure your family are looked after. And I take from your story is businesses go up and down, and you need to have, if you're running a business, you need to have a resilience, and you need someone in there in your corner that's going to be saying, Nitin, just hold horses a bit. Let's put a bit away in the future, because when you come to me and your kids are like growing up and you're killing yourself doing 60, 70 hours a week while your top biller's out on the beach because he's just coming in doing his 40, 50 hours a week and making all the money, and you're killing yourself because business is hard, at that point, you want that resilience.
Yeah, no, that's right. Insurance is a funny one though, right? Because people talk about protecting your insurance, protecting your life, critical illness and that kind of thing. Why do you think people don't take it as seriously as they should?
Right. That is a great question, and it's something that's not spoke about enough. And it's funny, I don't think it's something we've ever spoken about before, so I'm pleased you brought it up. So there's a couple of things here. One, everyone hates paying insurance. You don't like paying car insurance, house insurance. You don't, do you?
No.
You probably get your car insurance because you had to.
Because you have to.
Yeah, exactly. But you insure your car, don't you? You insure your house. You probably, if you've got pets, you probably insure them as well. So you even get a bit of holiday insurance for and worst case scenario, your house burns down, needs rebuilding. Maybe it's £500,000. But you've got an asset there sitting in the corner that is literally printing money, and that's yourself. And and I think the problem is people don't see what might happen to them. Like we don't walk around, do we, thinking I'm going to get run over by a bus tomorrow, I'm going to get cancer, I'm going to get something. But here's the reality. So a quick story of two people, and these aren't clients, these are friends of mine. About second year of COVID, friend of mine got cancer. Really aggressive form of bowel cancer. He was 42 years old. He was dead in 6 months. He didn't have any insurance whatsoever. So all his mates did a GoFundMe. Got about 10 grand. Didn't touch the sides. Within 6 months, his wife had to sell a house. His children had to move schools. So not only had they lost a parent, but they also lost their life.
Any form of normality,
I had another friend of mine, one of my best friends from school, actually, and he was working in America, actually, and he got an aggressive form of brain cancer, and it's really sad because he's got no short-term memory, so he can't remember what happened 3 hours ago or but he can remember as like getting told off in Mr. Rowland's class at school, and it's really sad. But he had income protection that pays him $4,500 every month until I think he's 60 years old. His family are still looked after. All the plans are still there, and it's that two difference. No one ever thinks it's going to happen to them. Those two people didn't think it's going to happen to them, but the reason is people don't like paying it because they just see it as wasted money. I see it as you're giving over you're giving that risk over to an insurance company to ensure that your family are looked after if something happens to you.
I think there's three parts to this, though, right?
Go on.
The first is, in the example of you insure your home.
Yeah.
And you insure your car.
Yeah.
Well, I have to, by law, insure my car.
Yeah.
My mortgage company demand that I insure the house.
Yes.
The house insurance conversation, like, there are people who rent that don't have contents insurance.
Yeah.
So you have to have those insurances.
Mm-hmm.
The pet insurance thing I get, because most people have pet insurance because they know how expensive it is should their dog do something stupid and injure itself, let alone get natural issues. But they're more likely to happen, right?
Yeah.
Than they are a human. Like, humans tend to live a healthier lifespan than an animal will. So it kind of, you got to discount that bit. The other part I think is that doesn't help is there are not enough conversations being had about the success stories or the situations where there's a lot of scaremongering. This person got cancer, or this person ended up in this situation, or this person ended up in that situation.
Yeah, like I just did.
Yeah. No, but but there's a lot of those bad stories, but not enough gets spoken about, even by the those who have lived that experience, right? Where they can say, actually, guys, this is why you need it, because it did this for me, and it's important to do this.
Like my friend who, that situation.
Not enough of those people sharing those stories. Again, like things like the travel insurance thing. Well, you devalue travel insurance when you get it for free with your bank.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You devalue that product. And then the final thing I think needs to be considered a lot of the time is that when your insurance is the most affordable, is usually during a time of your life where you don't have the disposable money to pay for it.
Yeah. And also when you're younger and you don't...
Yeah, it's so far away.
You think you're going to live forever when you're 25, don't you?
Exactly. And it's not until those medical conditions start creeping up on you, yeah?
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, maybe I should look at this. And then you look at the premiums, like, that's a lot more than what it was when I was 25.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think there's the solution, I think, is the education needs to start a lot earlier, but the education actually needs to be not by insurance companies, but by the beneficiaries of these insurance products, right? They need their stories told.
Yeah.
Because people buy from experiences and emotion, not based on the facts. Now, you can give me all the facts of cancer in the world,
but
I'm still going to sit there in the back of my mind and be like, ain't going to be me. Do you know what I mean?
So, when we go through it and we work with a client, I'd say it's my responsibility to ensure that the families I work with are protected. So their plan works if they live 50 days or 50 years.
Yes.
That's the idea.
Yes.
And the only way to do that is we link it to things. And we link it exactly. We talk about people's personal experiences.
Mm-hmm.
What would happen if?
Yeah.
And one of the questions I would always ask, go home and ask this to your partner. What do you want for your partner if something happens to you and your family? Because then all of a sudden it's like, well, we want them to be able to stay in their home. We want them to be able to live their life.
Mm-hmm.
So then we link that payment to them being able to do that. Yeah, and again, it comes...
But that's that emotional piece, isn't it? Like bringing it to life with emotion.
It's the one thing that people are very resistant to having. And of course, there is a budgetary issue of, like in an ideal world, we'd have this, X amount, because a lot of people insure the mortgage, for instance. But if you just pay your mortgage off, how are you paying the bills afterwards? Like how if you really.
Well, look, my wife's got to do something if I'm right. You know what I mean?
But and just on a little note on that as well. Ask yourself, have you got your will in place and lasting powers of attorney? Like these are simple things that aren't overly expensive. If you really want to go, and you can do them for under £100 online. But I tell you what, there's something that are extremely valuable if it comes to it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't think about a will, do they? Really?
But most people just think it's for old people.
Yeah. No, it's for anyone who has an asset.
Yeah.
And your home is an asset.
That's why I also don't talk about retirement. Mm-hmm. Like. Let me ask you, if I say to you, how do you imagine retirement? What comes to mind?
Oh, see, I have a very specific view of retirement.
Go on.
I'm gonna have a little shack. I'm gonna have a little shack out in Spain.
Yeah.
And it's in the sticks. And I'm gonna just wake up in the morning. I'm gonna sit on those little white plastic chairs with a little bowl of peanuts and a bottle of wine. and I'm not
And a
getting
straw.
up.
And a straw.
And I'm not. I'm going to watch the sun come up, and I'm going to watch the sun go down, and I'm going to be still sat in the same place. And that's when I'll be like, I'm done.
How old are you in this situation?
Oh, I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm a dithery old. Like, I'm one of those old people that gets in your way. Old. You know what I mean? That's just why I'm out there.
Is it fair to say your view of retirement is when you're not, like, you're literally old, you're not working, you can't do much more, you've done everything you want to do in life?
I don't believe in retirement.
Yeah.
But my dad didn't retire. My dad died at 81. He was not. He never worked either. Like he did fun, cool, stupid shit.
Yeah.
Which is why I do fun, cool, stupid shit and called it work. Right.
Yeah.
He made like moves, investments, bit of this, bit of that. Got a bit involved in this. Oh, chuck some money at that. You know, that is what I want to do. Keep the grey matter involved, and just keep doing stuff that's generating an income but keeping me busy. I don't like this concept of retire and pot around the house and I'm going to get into my gardening. You want to get into gardening? Do it now.
And that's what I'm talking. That most people, when you talk about retirement, that's what they think.
Yeah.
And that's why I talk about financial freedom. Freedom from having to work.
Yeah.
Because most founders I work with, and I've just been on a call this morning with one who is in the process of selling their business. They've done fantastically well, about 50. And one of the things I said to him is, I said, there is no way, I've been speaking to you, I've worked with you for long enough now, there's no way you are just like selling this business and not doing anything now. It's not in your, and also,
not in your DNA.
You're going to be like, there's no, and he's like, yeah, and his wife was like nodding her head like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, he's already thinking about what I'm going to do next.
Yeah.
The reason he wants to get out the business, he's been running it for 15 years, he's tired.
Yeah.
I had another recruitment.
It doesn't feed the soul anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
I had another recruitment founder this week say to me, like, I hate recruitment. I've been doing it for 20 years, and like it's all I know, and I need to sell this business in the next 4 or 5 years because I've just had enough of it. I want to do other things.
Yeah.
He said if I have to do it, I will, because that's how my family are doing it. And he said, he may be listening to this because I know but he said to me, whatever it is, don't tell my staff and all of that. And I said, obviously not. But I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Because people when people get one-to-one with me, they're going to tell me what their pain really is.
Yeah. Do you know what my next thing is after I'm done with this?
Go on.
I'm going to run a small boutique hotel or like bed and breakfast in the Lake District.
Fantastic. Because we talked about this. Was it Staveley you got? Or around
that
area?
Penrith.
Yeah,
I've got a place up in Penrith. But yeah, that's.
But did you not get married in Staveley or something?
No, got married in Glenriddin. I've stayed in Staveley before. We stayed in Staveley when we were looking at venues and stuff. I loved. Staveley was lovely. But yeah, that's my next thing. That's the thing I'm eyeing up next. I know eventually I'm going to want to slow down. The kids will be a bit older, probably at university, but not necessarily, And we both, me and the wife, both want to move up to the lakes.
Yeah.
And I know I can't just not work. And so in my head, I'm like, I'm going to run a little bed and breakfast,
Same.
Wake up early like I do at the minute. Make breakfast like I do at the minute, Smell of bacon wakes the guests up. Feed them all, get them all. They're out the house. Make the beds like I do at the minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then have the rest of the day.
Then get guests like us in a hotel.
Get out!
Stop drinking.
I'll join them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we do. Get the bookers in. Come on, get the bookers in. but like that, because but that's again still financial freedom, because to do that you still need money. To do that you still need to be thinking freedom, about how am I going to do that? What moves do I need to make now? And that can't be and from my point of view, it cannot be, well, I'm going to sell RecTools and RecTalk.
Yeah.
Because this might fail.
Yeah.
Financial resilience applies to my business as well.
Yeah.
And my business might fail.
You're right. And
so why not, at the time it's making money, extract wealth from the business and prop up your own financial freedom and your financial resilience? Because that's what I did.
Yeah.
Me and my other business partner, we took exactly the same amount of money out of the businesses. I bought properties. I put money in the bank. I paid down my mortgage. That moron remortgaged to do his bathroom. Spent every penny he had and then some. And then ended up going bankrupt because his financial situation was atrocious. We took down to the penny exactly the same amount of money.
Yeah.
We had exactly the same financial situation when we first went in together. Do you know what I mean?
It's like communism, capitalism.
It really
it's
was.
Like you're putting it. But this is why I really enjoy speaking with you, because you really get this, And like people are either going to listen to this and just think, oh, what a load of bollocks, or they're going to be like, actually, I need to do. And what you just described to me, no, my process is called life by design.
Yeah.
Because that's it. I want people to live a life by design, not by default, not the life everyone else wants them to live, not running the company that other people think because it's the 50 head
That's
count.
the way to do
it's
it.
the 50 head count, or we've got 8 divisions across it, but 7 of them make no money. I respect someone that comes to me and goes, we've got a really lean business, it's really profitable, we want to pull the money out. Again, another guy I spoke to recently, solo advisor, been doing it for 20 years, fantastic business, literally just on his own, making really good money, done lots of sensible right things, also like some flashy shit as well, by the way, but because he's made the money, but he knows his lane, and he's like, look, I'm like 55, I could do this happily for that. I work 3 days a week and I like it, and it's like, that's fantastic.
Good,
But what you said for me is like, that's what I want to pull out of a client. What's that sort of dream scenario? So let's bring that down. Let's discuss it. Let's find out what it's going to take to get you there. And by the way, on that journey, that scenario probably will change a bit, or something will change about it. But let's at least start aiming for something. Let's get some numbers around it. Let's understand how close are you to actually being able to afford to it's not about an income, it's maintaining a lifestyle that you used to.
This is it, right? This is exactly right. Because also your ability to earn money is also diminishing year on year because you're getting older, right? And we know it's not when we're in our 20s and 30s, we know, if I'll take this gamble, and if it doesn't pay off, I'll just go and get a job. People ain't hiring over 50s. They find it incredibly difficult to get back into work, right? And your ability to get up in the morning and grind and hustle,
you just don't want it. You've got kids.
It's diminishing.
I'm knackered every day.
Yeah, exactly, right? You know what? Yeah. So this kind of like, oh well, if this goes wrong, I'll just do that again. Like, but you won't. You won't, right?
Yeah. And you were in that old sales culture, weren't you? Probably like, here's a load of numbers. Ring.
Blast through these.
Can you imagine someone saying like, right, you've got to go and basically do what you were doing at Page again? There's absolutely no chance. So when I started as a stockbroker, I was like keen as mustard, and they were paying me absolutely
the energy.
and they were paying me bugger all, and I'd pick the phone up 100 times a day. Now, and like I suppose if it came to it, I probably would, because I'd just be sitting there thinking I need to feed my kids. But But
again, you know that scenario is incredibly unlikely, because actually you have positioned yourself in such a place where you'd be like, all right, before I have to go and work in that call center environment, I will sell my house and downsize, and that will release enough money for me to be like, okay, we don't have to do that now. Do you know what I mean? I clear out my savings. I do that. I've got all these safety nets. Before, the only thing left for me to do is to take that 200 quid and run down the casino. Because that's what I didn't have. You know what I mean? Like that was the only. It was, I got 200 quid. I can either go and buy stuff and go and sell it. I live in a shit part of Coventry. It wouldn't have been hard for me to get an 8-ball and just like, right, let me see if I can do something with this. Or run down but in either way, it was degeneracy is the only option I have right now. And in my head, it's like, I never ever want to be in that situation ever in my life again, where my only route to money is to do something stupid. You know what I mean?
It goes back to the
reception calling. I think we've got Can ready downstairs. He's always keen as mustard he is.
Oh, I was pretty keen today though, wasn't I?
You were. I
got here well too early. Look, I think it comes to it is your responsibility. No one else is going to come and save you, particularly when it comes to money. Like, do you know one of the things I learned when I left the city? I thought I had this great network, and I thought, oh, my clients are going to come from them. Do you know, I only picked 2 clients up from all this network, all this city, because most of them were, basically high as a kite. They don't care. The kind of people that and again, this is the similarity of recruitment. The kind of people that got 10 quid in the pocket, so they spend 12. No one. And once people realised that you weren't going to make them money, they didn't care about
Discard you.
It wasn't so. All of a sudden, you go back to your roots. Probably my 5 best mates are people that I've met along the journey, and they've never let you down, kind of thing, are they? not one of them comes from the city that I worked in for 10 years. I gave 10 years of my life to.
Yeah.
And like, I don't believe in like regretting too much. In like, you look back and think I've done things differently. But I think my biggest regret from it is I gave my life to something I thought mattered and it didn't. It was just bullshit money stuff. And actually, I see myself now as like I'm the sort of I'm the poacher turned gamekeeper now. Like I'm anti. There's a reason HSBC have got a massive tower.
Yeah.
There's a reason JP Morgan got a massive tower because the clients pay for that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like for me, it's all about I keep things lean, I keep clients' charges down, I give a really good service, and do you know what? What I get out of this is if my clients can be financially free, financially resilient, and the comeback is my family is financially free and financially resilient, then that's
a fair deal,
I do it.
right? That's a fair deal.
That's a fair deal.
Mate, I think that's a great place to leave it.
I do.
I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you. I really enjoyed that.
For sharing your kind of journey and stuff. This won't be the last time you'll see Christian on the podcast. He is entitled to another 2, but we're also going to do some more, which I'll talk to you about actually because I've got some pretty cool ideas and I know you're going to be all over. If you want to hear from him, hear more about him, find out, connect with him on LinkedIn, all the sort of the stuff that you might need to do, it's all in the description below, regardless of whether you're watching on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple.
Just quickly, I also do the third Wednesday of every month. I also do a free masterclass as well. So
Excellent.
Feel free to come along, find me on LinkedIn. And it's all on there anyway.
Amazing. You also go to a lot of the team network events and you're doing some work with TRN and a few of the groups. So no doubt that people will start seeing more of you. But guys, for the next time Christian features on the podcast, do send me in questions, anything you want us to discuss, anything you want answering. Maybe we'll do a few Q&A sessions as well.
Great idea, yeah.
But yeah, get in touch. But that's all from us. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all the cool shit that you guys do that allow me to do this as a job. And keep Tristan in work. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I like throwing a bit of shade at Tristan every now and then.
And that's the end of another episode of RecTalk. I hope you enjoyed that one thoroughly as much as I did recording it. And I'll leave you with my 4 recommendations that I gave you at the start of this video and in the middle. Get in touch with these guys. They know what they're doing. First recommendation I've got for you is to take your commission more seriously. And the only way to really do that effectively is to deal with Carl at Conquest. Carl and the team really have their finger on the pulse with everything to do with commissions for your business. How much your guys are going to earn, how much they're currently tracking to earn, what your competitors are paying, what competitive landscape is out there, what your commission structure should look like. If you want to take commission seriously, and doing so will attract the right talent to your business and increase performance, get in touch with Carl at Conquest. Another recommendation I've got for you is Ben Fielding at Quinset. Now we know in 2025 and onwards, email deliverability is more important than it's ever been before. With so much spam and junk mail and the amount of outreach messages that just don't land where they're meant to, sometimes your agency messages can get lost in the shuffle. You don't want to be in the junk mail. You don't want to be outside of the focused inbox. You don't want to be sending interview invites and having to ask your prospects and your candidates to check their junk. So if you want to sort that problem out and you want to continue to grow and scale your recruitment business, get in touch with Ben Fielding at Quinset. My next recommendation to you is Ross Thompson and the team at Infinity Staff Global. Infinity Staff Global are an employer of record who specialise in finding you staff based out in South Africa, but that work for you. Outsourcing and offshoring is the secret to growing and scaling a recruitment business in 2025 and onwards. And I highly recommend that you consider South African staff for your recruitment business, be it in a sales capacity, i.e. 180 or 360 degree recruiters, be it marketing, be it administrative functions, back office support, anything that you might need for your recruitment agency, get in touch with Ross and the team on the details in the description. The final recommendation I've got for you is Matt Fox at Exodus Advisory. Exodus Advisory was born out of Matt's journey selling his recruitment business. Along the way, the journey was incredibly difficult. There was a lot of forwards and backwards. There was things that he wished he knew back then that would have changed some of the things that he did with his business. So Matt set up Exodus to help recruitment businesses be exit ready. This is not an overnight thing, and the last thing you want to be doing is having to exit your business, not because you want to, but because you have to. So if you're looking to plan an exit in 3 to 5 years' time, Matt Fox is the guy you need to be speaking to.